Collectors Confessions takes our comic shop-orama series to the mean streets of Brooklyn.
Yeah, very mean.
So was it worth it? We hit lots of traffic on the way there, and on the way home, it's Brooklyn. There is always traffic, as Brian said. He lived in Brooklyn.
I did, yes. And I lived in the neighborhood we visited.
We knew that going into it, that there was going to be lots of traffic.
Right.
What I didn't know is that parking was going to be so bad.
Yeah, that's anybody who knows Park Slope in Brooklyn knows that one of the big traits of it is that parking is really difficult.
Again, it's Brooklyn. There's always bad parking.
Yeah.
So we visited Galaxy Comics. And before we get into our review of Galaxy Comics, let's define what makes it worth it for us. So what makes a comic shop good?
In my opinion?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
There are so many factors that makes a comic shop good. Selection of both old and new comics. We like dollar bins. So if there's dollar bins, that gets a plus from us. We like older collectibles, but we're okay if there's new collectibles, so you need to have a mix of old and new collectibles.
Sure.
Vintage toys is a big thing.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
For us. I don't know for everybody. We love seeing vintage toys.
Yep. You even buy some.
I often do. If they don't have vintage toys, it doesn't impress us as much, let's just say.
Yeah.
It's a big impression if you have vintage toys. That means you're really working it and you're getting stuff coming in and out. That's how I see it. You have back issues, you have vintage toys, you're buying stuff constantly. Your inventory's turning around.
Yeah, and you're really into the sort of whole culture of all of it. You're appealing to multiple versions of customers. Let's put it that way.
That's
okay. Lots of diverse customers.
Right. And if you agree with us that that's how we see comic shops, and a
little something for everybody. Let me put it that way.
That's exactly how I saw it. So is Galaxy Comics worth a visit? Was it worth it for us? We love comic book shops, and we love the fact that comic book shops are built on variety. Not every comic book shop is the same as other ones. We wouldn't want cookie-cutter comic shops.
No.
I think most of you out there would agree with us.
Right.
I like that a comic shop is different, and we visit different comic shops, and we see different things. Galaxy Comics is a nice local comic shop. Plenty of new books. They have their weekly section. Also have a bunch of graphic novels and trade paperbacks. Plenty of anime.
Plenty of manga, plenty of anime toys, yes. A lot of that stuff. Gaming.
Pokemon, Magic.
Right.
They're even setting up.
Oh, yeah, they have a new alcove,
Yep.
and they're going to be doing tabletop gaming in there, with selling games and, of course, holding tournaments. Things like Magic and Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that.
So does this constitute a good comic shop?
I think as far as, like, a neighborhood comic shop,
I would agree. It's community.
Yes.
This is a nice community comic shop.
Yes.
They're building a community. They have a place for kids to come and play the games. When we were in there was a family in there shopping, a father and his two young kids.
Yep.
That we love seeing that. We love seeing when there's a whole family can go in there and buy stuff.
Right.
It's a place where, to me, comic shop should be like a bar. It should be a place where you can gather and hang out with people that like the same things that you like.
Sure.
Galaxy Comics seems to be that
definitely
kind of place.
Answers that. Yes, definitely answers that.
So what kind of community is that area?
That is a very upscale community now. When I lived there, it was in transition. It was changing from being a working class neighborhood to being more of a upscale neighborhood.
Okay.
And it seems like the gentrification has spread a little further north, going from, let's say, 8th Avenue down to where we were, which is on 5th Avenue. That part of 5th Avenue used to be a lot different when I lived there. But when I lived there, it was more than 20 years ago.
Okay.
It's definitely, you could definitely see a lot of changes in that neighborhood. But that neighborhood is very, very family oriented. There are a lot of families there.
So you need a comic shop like that.
Yes.
So you don't need a typical comic shop where you're bringing in comic book people. Right? You want more of a community.
Right.
You want something where kids can go and kids can get stuff, and you could bring your kids with you, or you have a place to drop your kids off to have gaming.
Absolutely. Yeah, sure.
So what else did Galaxy Comics have? They had a great assortment of NECA figures?
They did. They had a really good assortment of NECA figures. They had a really good assortment of the Marvel Select figures. They had a lot of Marvel Select figures.
They had a lot of Funko.
A lot of Funko.
They had some really great pieces. They had an amazing Justice League set from the movie.
Oh, yeah. That was
Never
nice.
saw that before.
Yep. That was the three figures,
I've never
right?
seen that before.
Yeah.
It was way too expensive. They had a great Indiana Jones assortment of figures.
They had a lot of those, yeah.
NECA figures. They had the cool Stan Lee statue. We've seen it a couple times before.
He's the barber from Ragnarok.
They also had Star Wars Black Series figures and a small assortment. Again, all of this stuff was new. They didn't really had any classic or vintage stuff.
Not really, no.
They also had a great kids section, including some new DC Compact comics.
Oh, I love those. Yeah, those
I knew nothing about them. I've never seen them before.
It's a new line of graphic novels. DC's reprinting some of their classic some of their classic story arcs.
Right.
Whether it's something like The Watchmen or Kingdom Come, or even like The Court of Owls from the New 52 Batman, in a compact-sized graphic novel. Like you could, much easier to fit in a pocket. Almost, and it's much cheaper. It's almost half the price.
How much are they?
They're like $10.
I've never seen them before. Comment if you've ever seen them before. Never saw them before. Interesting.
They're small versions.
They're not made for me.
No, because you don't really collect graphic novels.
They're made for...
They're made for people who just want to read the stories and then maybe give them to somebody else.
Like the guy who was there said, on a bus, right?
Yeah, you read them on a bus.
Read them on a bus.
Yeah,
and you put them in your back pocket. Mm-hmm. The way comics originally were, you would read them on a bus and most times leave them on the bus.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But, I mean, I think it's a great idea. And only DC's making them at this point? Marvel hasn't jumped into the fray yet?
I don't think Marvel has. I feel like...
They remind me of like the Archie books.
Yeah, they're not much bigger than the Archie digests that you get
that's
at
what it reminded me of. It
Yeah.
reminded me of a digest.
Yeah.
And is that it's competing with manga more than anything else?
I think it's... Yeah, because it's more the size of a manga book.
Okay.
And manga books are much more portable. I mean, if you just look at them, they're much easier to carry around.
So kudos to you, DC, for jumping into
smart idea.
Competing with manga. And again, as we've talked about before, comic books sales not so great. Manga through the roof.
Really good.
So you have to adjust.
Mm-hmm. But what the best thing about them, I think, is the price. It's $10. Like if you go and buy a trade paperback of The Watchmen right now, it's probably going to cost you about $25.
And that thing contains all 12 issues.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
That's a great price.
Yeah.
I might buy the Watchmen one next time.
I was going to say $10. $10. You can't beat it.
You can't beat $10 for a full entire 12-issue run.
And it's for people who just really want to read the stories. They're not collectibles.
Right.
You're probably going to destroy it by like carrying it around and keep it in your backpack or whatever. Yeah, but that's the point of it. And I like that. It's
a great idea.
They're about the size of like a not a mass market paperback, but like a trade paperback, like you'd find in a store.
Are they selling them at libraries?
Like a novel.
I mean, not libraries, at bookstores?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, has anyone picked any up? I need to hear more about this because I knew nothing about it. This is something new to me. So this is the first time I saw them. So thank you, Galaxy Comics. You opened my eyes to something new. Mm-hmm. Galaxy Comics is a great neighborhood shop. You say it's family oriented.
Right.
They have a bunch of old movie cards too.
Yes.
In the case.
I saw those.
And that case was filled with movie cards and Funko pins. Mm-hmm. Never seen anything like that before. They had a huge Funko pin display. So what were they missing?
Oh, the big fig pins they had.
Yeah. I haven't seen those on display. What was Galaxy Comics missing?
Back issues.
There was a small bin, maybe 4 or 5 dollar bins of newer comic books.
Yeah, they were kind of stuffed under.
Hidden, basically. Mm-hmm. There was no real back issue assortment.
Not much back issues.
No, which tells me they're not buying collections.
Yeah, no, they're not.
They're just getting their weeklies in and getting everything delivered from whoever's delivering nowadays. Luna, there's so many. It's not Diamond anymore, so I don't really know who's doing it anymore.
You really should find that out.
I probably should. I do have a comic book YouTube channel. No vintage toys, no classic comics, but an amazing assortment of new figures.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, including this great Beta Ray Bill that I probably should have bought but didn't.
That was a nice one.
I passed on it.
That was a nice one.
So, was Galaxy Comics worth a visit for us? Yes and no.
Yeah. I like all kinds of comic stores, so yes, it was cool to go there. For me, especially because I had shopped there.
You were reminiscing
when I lived there. I mean, this was a different location than where it was when I lived there. But
did they have back issues when you used to go?
I don't think so. I don't remember. Okay. That was more than like I said, it's more than 20 years ago.
All right.
Yeah, but so it's I'd say if you're in Brooklyn and there are no other comic book stores, yes, go to Galaxy. Okay, that should be your local store.
And listen,
is it a travel destination? No.
We all need a good local store. We all need a store we can pick up our weekly books. And Galaxy seems to be a great place to pick up your weekly books. And the person working there was very nice.
Sure.
If you're in the area, definitely you should be getting your books from there. You shouldn't be ordering online. God forbid, don't order comics online. Get them in your hand. So We do have a haul, but before we get into the haul, we actually had a secondary stop in our adventure in Brooklyn.
Oh, that's right. I almost forgot.
Yeah, right?
Isn't that funny?
The street gang chased us. No, I'm kidding.
We had to fight the Warriors off.
The Warriors, and we weren't near Coney Island. We walked by a pharmacy called Nearguard Pharmacy, and in the window was a life-size Megan from the movie Megan, and it piqued my interest. So I was like, why would a pharmacy have a life-size Megan in the window? Made no sense.
And then when we looked at the rest of the window, it was all action figures and toys.
Filled with toys and action figures. As it turns out, Nearguard Pharmacy has an upstairs toy store. Filled with toys. I mean, filled with toys.
Yeah, a lot of toys.
A lot of toys.
They had a room full of collectible toys, and then a room full of just like toys for kids to play with.
And upstairs, you took an elevator, took the stairs upstairs, and it was literally from ceiling to floor, front to back, filled with toys, and good toys, not like, I don't want to be mean, but not like an educational toy store. Who wants
God
that?
forbid.
They really had some great stuff up there. Brian pulled out a Blues Brothers set I've never seen.
That was really cool. Yeah.
You pulled out a lot of cool stuff. The Playmates, all those Playmates figures. That Playmates is in the
Back
game
to the
now.
Future.
Back to the Future. James Bond.
Yeah, they had some good stuff.
Jurassic Park.
Yep.
They had a bunch of DC figures.
Yes.
They had Marvel figures.
They had the two Marvel 2-packs that I really, really like. There's two Marvel 2-packs that I'm like, ooh. There's the one with the Gray Hulk and Bruce Banner.
Yep. Not Bruce Banner.
No, they had the Bruce Banner one too.
Oh, okay.
Where he's wearing the brown vest. It's like Hulk from the first issue.
Because I know you want the other one too.
And then the other one is Wolverine with the eye patch
and Joe Fixit.
And they're both in white tuxedos. Like they look like Humphrey Bogart.
You're gonna buy it one time when you find it for sale.
When it's on sale, I will buy that.
$50
one of
bucks.
those.
It's too much money.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, this.
Well, it was more than $50 there.
Oh,
it was like
I've seen it for $50.
It was like $70 there.
Listen, the prices weren't great. It was expensive.
Yeah.
But this was like a toy store.
Yeah.
So we started just like, how did this come about? Like, my guess is, and Brian, we both said, they must have had a toy section in the pharmacy and it was doing so well
they moved it.
That they moved it upstairs and made it a full toy section. I mean, it was, they're getting toy shipments probably regularly of new stuff.
So. Yeah, because there was a lot of stuff.
It was, listen, a surprise on our trip. We never expected to end up in a pharmacy toy store filled with Marvel and DC figures and everything else you could possibly think of that would be for sale right now.
Right.
And they had stuff in cases and they had stuff behind the counter. It was fun.
So if you're in 5th Avenue and 10th Street in Park Slope, check it out. Look for Nearguard Toys right above Nearguard Pharmacy.
Definitely worth
Yeah.
a stop in just to get a feel of an old. It was like an old toy store too.
And they had stuff that, like you said, we've never seen before.
Never
like that
seen
Blues
before.
Brothers 2-pack. It was the figures of the Blues Brothers performing. Yeah.
Which, listen, anytime we see something we never saw before. So there you go. We have some. We planned a trip for you. So go to Galaxy Comics and
and go across the street.
Near Guard, and then there was like a antique store, and we went into a couple places.
Smith's Tavern.
Yeah, we had to hide from the Warriors. So yes, there is a haul. It's not the biggest haul ever.
No,
but it's a haul nonetheless. Take
Want me to go first?
Brian. Go ahead.
Okay, so I got everything that day at Galaxy. I didn't buy anything at Nearguard.
Right.
But here's what I got. I don't buy much DC or Marvel, especially the new stuff, but I wanted to get this just because I really like the cover. It's got like a real nice Silver Age feel to it. And I'm actually thinking of framing this and putting up in my little office space downstairs.
Who is that on the cover?
It is Superman and Stephen Colbert, and you see in the window in the background Batman is sort of swinging by.
He should have him on the show now, just like that.
What do you mean? Oh, he should have like David Korn sweat and costume?
Yeah.
And like have him on the show?
Have him,
that would be pretty cool.
That cover.
Yeah, and I don't know if a lot of people know this about Stephen Colbert, but he's a really big science fiction fan. Not all sci-fi, but he's a really big Tolkien fan, and he knows
Is he a comic book guy?
I don't know if he's a comic book guy, but
email us, Steven. Are you a comic book guy?
He's really into sci-fi and fantasy.
Want to be on the show?
And he's especially into Tolkien. He knows a shitload about Tolkien.
All right, I think he's really smart.
Very smart, very funny. Yeah. The other thing I got, my trade paperback
with the
series that I'm getting, Something is Killing the Children, Volume 3.
So let me ask you a question. Are you reading them and then next time we go out, you buying the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. That's because if you've been watching, he bought one at one store, he bought two at another store.
I bought one at J and Bob's.
There you go.
I bought the other at, was it? Oh, I don't remember now.
Comic Crypt?
Might have been Comic Crypt.
Or Comic Fortress. think you bought one at Comic Fortress, one at Jay and Silent Bob's, and now
That's
this is the
it.
third one.
You're right. It was Comic Fortress,
first,
Jay and Silent Bob. We
Check out those.
We go to so many stores.
Comic Shop-orama, we have to go. We're going for you. We're doing this for you guys.
Yeah. But check out the Jay and Bob store especially.
If you guys become members or give us a gift right now, we're planning on a tour of the United States, but we need funding. So
we need funding.
Become members or just give us a quick gift right now if you really like what we're doing here. I hope you do.
If you want to see us drive across country visiting comic book stores and see if our sanity lasts until California,
we'll rent a small RV. Throw both our families in there.
No families.
No, family, and then we sell it to like A&E.
No, it's just us in a wet bar across the United States.
There we go. See how much show we can get into. So I actually bought a couple of things. I bought most of my stuff at Galaxy Comics, but I did buy something at Year Guard Pharmacy. I bought a couple of older Sideways issue 5, Sideways issue 6, Sideways issue 8.
I've never heard of Sideways.
Do you know what Sideways is a ripoff of?
No.
Sideways is DC's version of Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. I can see the character there.
Yeah. Took Spider-Man. Also picked up a variant cover of I Am Batman 13. That's the Phantom String. The Question.
The Question, yeah. That's the Renee Montoya Question.
The cover.
It's a great cover.
And I thought I had this, but I didn't. Green Lantern and Huckleberry Hound. They did a crossover with
those were fun.
Warner Brothers. I have the Flash one, and I have a couple other ones, but I missed that one. So.
I have the...
That's my comic book.
What's the Batman? What was Batman crossed over with? I can't remember.
Yosemite Sam.
I have that one. I think I have that one.
I also bought something for Cassidy. I got her this Star Wars pack, which she's going to open right now.
Thanks, Dad. So it's time to open the cards he got me. I actually had no idea he bought these. So let's see what's in them. Okay, so here are the cards that I got. First up is Grand Admiral Thrawn, and it looks like it has what they're associated with. So he's associated with the Galactic Empire. And then it also shows the show that he's from. So he's from Ahsoka. Then, hope I'm pronouncing this right, Ixon. So she doesn't have an affiliation. She's from The Mandalorian. And then it just has some information about the character. Reva. I actually really liked her storyline in Obi-Wan. Then this one says Rise of Palpatine, so luring the rebellion into it's a trap from Return of the Jedi. I actually thought that this might have been only Ahsoka character, like from the show, but I guess not. Admiral Akbar, Rebel Alliance.
Oh.
And then lastly, it's Fennec Shand. She's also independent and from Book of Boba Fett. So that was actually 6 cards. The pack said that it was 5, so I guess I got an extra one? I don't really know. But anyway, I really like the look of these cards. So back to you, Dad.
And I also bought my first Ben Cooper.
First, but definitely not last.
Definitely not last, because I'm going to try to pick up all of these.
You're going to go for the superhero ones?
Yeah, probably just superhero ones.
I like the horror ones.
Maybe the Planet of the Apes.
I really like the monster ones.
So I picked up this too. I'm probably going to take them out of the box and put them somewhere on the shelves. I just like that it's actually the material. Like,
it looks like the old costume.
I wasn't allowed to get these costumes when I was a kid.
I had the Baron,
I wasn't allowed.
I had the Baron Karzar from Micronauts one.
Really? I never had one.
I cannot tell you, that was like a torture device. They were so hot inside those costumes.
My parents always made costumes, so I was never allowed to buy one from show. I always wanted one. I always wanted to be one. Star Wars, for sure. But I guess if they do Star Wars of these, I'm going to be in trouble.
Yes, you are.
And I bought one thing.
Can I just say one thing to the listeners? If you're not familiar with the way these Ben Cooper costumes were, they were a plastic mask with a elastic string that went around the back of your head. When you put it on your face,
great to snap on someone's head.
If you stuck your tongue through the hole around the mouth, there was an excellent chance you were getting cut.
Oh, they were made of razors.
And then there was like a plastic overshirt that you would wear.
People use them to lose weight when they were trying to box.
Well, that's what I was about to.
Oh my! I know.
I was about to say, if you want to simulate what it was like, get a plastic bowl, cut a hole in a garbage bag, put it over yourself, put the plastic bowl over your face, and go outside on the hottest day of the week.
Today.
And you will definitely know what it was like to wear a Ben Cooper costume.
Make Halloween fun with one-stop shopping at Woolworth or Woolco for your Halloween needs. Costumes from $1.83 to $3.99, like $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman, superheroes, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and a new favorite for girls, Holly Hobbie.
Comment. What Ben Cooper costume did you have when you were a kid? We know a large part of our viewing audience is people who are a little bit up there in age.
Yeah.
And I know they had Ben Cooper lasted into the 80s too, so I know, tell us what Ben Cooper I have two right now in my collection. I have a Superman and a Batman in my collection.
Nice.
I always keep an eye out for them. They're near impossible to find, but there you go. I also bought one more thing. I bought...
Sorry, I had to go on about that. Yeah.
I bought a Flash car at Near Guard Pharmacy. Yes, I bought a toy at a pharmacy.
That's cool.
It's a pharmacy toy. So there you go. That's our haul. So to wrap it up, Galaxy Comics, a great neighborhood comic shop. Glad we visited on our comic shop-orama. A little bit different than the other shops we visited. I have never been in a comic shop that didn't have a huge back issue section.
Yeah, other than the dollar books, that was it. Yeah.
That was small too.
Yeah.
That was just, I would think, leftover stock.
Definitely.
My guess is their ordering margins are very small.
Yeah.
They order for their pull list, and maybe they get a couple extra, and whatever they have left over, they throw in those bins. But listen, thank you guys for letting us come in. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It was good. We love traveling. We loved this adventure. There's going to be a part 2. We're going to visit another store in Brooklyn. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share.
A store with an amazing legacy.
And that will be in our next episode of Comic Shop-orama, probably in a week or so. Thanks for watching. Love what you collect.
Collect what you love.
We'll see you next time.
Can you dig it?